Welcome back, fight fans. Yes, it's the DAZN Boxing Show. I go by the name of Ak.
And I'm Barack, the boxing bully.
It's fight week. That's right. Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna this Saturday in Los Angeles, live on DAZN, and we are here to talk about it on the opening bell. Listen, Barack, one of the things that stood out to me the most about this matchup is this. Javier Fortuna has been a professional fighter since 2009. He is 33 years old. He has 30-something fights. He is more experienced, but also with that comes more wear and tear on the body. He's just coming off of a loss against Jojo Diaz, which in my opinion, it wasn't that close of a fight. Yes, he had moments in that fight. Yes, we know Javier Fortuna is crafty. Some people felt like he beat Robert Easter Jr. So some people felt like he only has 2 losses in his career. He also lost to Sosa. But at this stage in his career, does he have enough athleticism, speed, and trickiness to deal with the young bull in Ryan Garcia, who has so much to prove? Sometimes that type of pressure, Barack, brings you to another level. The pressure of switching trainers, the pressure of all the negativity that he's been receiving on social media about, is he the real deal? Why did he take that hiatus? That can push a fighter. They say pressure busts pipes, but it also makes diamonds. It can push Ryan to a whole nother level to prove everybody wrong.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with his age. And I'm talking about Javier Fortuna. He's 32. He turns 33 this Friday, a day before his fight with Ryan Garcia. And I don't really think it has anything to do with, the fights that he's been in. Yes, he has more experience, but he's not a shot fighter. You know what it is? He's labeled a boxer puncher, right? But I think he was a puncher at 130 pounds. And at 135 pounds, now he's a boxer. Gave Robert Easter trouble, probably could have won that fight. That Sosa loss was years ago. He's a very, very tricky and smart fighter, but at 135 pounds, he's kind of small. Now, the guys who excel at a bigger weight class where they seem to be smaller are the guys who are usually exceptionally skillful or very, very powerful. Guys like Gervonta Davis or Canelo. Now Javier Fortuna, I think he's just a small guy in a big division. And then you got Ryan, who could probably fight at 147 pounds later on in his career because he's about 5'10". He's a big guy, broad shoulders. And they're fighting at 140 pounds. That's the thing. Now think about it. Javier Fortuna had a slight height advantage over Jojo Diaz and a big reach advantage, about maybe 4 inches over Jojo Diaz, and still couldn't keep Jojo off of him, and even tried to walk Jojo down sometimes and was in the pocket banging with him. Styles make fights. How does a guy who fights like Javier Fortuna, who has trouble with guys in the 135-pound division, beat a big guy like Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, I guess we'll get the answer to that on Saturday, Brock. But one of the attributes that I think Javier Fortuna does have, right, which is very important in this game, is confidence. He's the type of guy that, no, he's not just in this to be in a big fight for a big payday. He believes he can beat Ryan Garcia. He has supreme confidence, and that goes far in this ring, Barack, especially when you're fighting a guy that's going to meet you head on and say, hey, I ain't going nowhere. I can beat you. I can take your best shot, and I'm going to dish your back. Now, Ryan has to show mental fortitude to deal with that type of fighter, because it's not only about being crafty and experienced. It's about, hey, I have the confidence that I'm going to beat you. I'm not in this. I'm not going to be stunned by the bright lights. He's been in some decent sized fights. Now, this might be the biggest fight he's been in his career at not the Staples Center, but the Crypto Arena, now in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles. This is probably the biggest stage he's ever been on. But what he's doing on social media, attacking Ryan Garcia, the things that he's saying, he wants to smoke, which is great for promotion, but he really believes that. And that's what I think that's why this fight is going to be very interesting.
He got 13 years in. He got 13 years in, and he's proven that he's a very, very, I call him skillfully awkward fighter. He's been at the top of the sport already, and he's probably looking at Ryan like a lot of people are looking at Ryan. Well, a lot of casual fans are looking at Ryan that he hasn't proven himself yet. I think he has already. That Luke Campbell win was an exceptional win. Understand that Luke Campbell Never was a champ. He was a gold medalist in the Olympics, but, he fought Lomachenko. He fought, Linares and guys like that, and Ryan got him out of there with one punch. Luke Campbell, it was a hell of a win. And Tego was, a ranked guy who didn't want to fight. So obviously Ryan's power is special. And he's a guy from Ghana who, those kind of fighters hardly ever get knocked out.
Yeah, and Barack, you brought up earlier Ryan's size, his size advantage against a guy like Javier Fortuna. Everybody keeps talking about how tough he is and how crafty he is, but he is not the best defensive fighter out there, right? He does mix it up and get hit in that ring. From what I saw with Ryan Garcia, I don't want to make predictions this early in the week, but I will say this: from what I've seen in the training camp, we spent some time with Ryan Garcia and watched him spar. Yeah. And I'm looking at his size standing next to me. I'm seeing him against other guys that are, in his weight or even bigger than him. Heavier than him. He's still so much bigger than these guys. Javier Fortuna, to your point again, he is a small guy. How does he get into that circumference? How does he get into his personal space without meeting fire first? And can he take that type of power and speed? I just can't calculate that, Barack. I'm trying to figure out, how does he do it? The craftiness is not enough to me. That's what I envision. It is not enough to get away from the speed and power of Ryan Garcia. But with that being said, he did go to distance with Jojo Diaz. A lot of people, he felt he beat Robert Easton Jr. So if Ryan Garcia can make a big statement in this fight, you brought up the fact that he stopped Luke Campbell, who went the distance with Lomachenko, went the distance with the hard puncher Linares. If he can get him out of there, I think it would be another huge statement in the sport, in that division right now, that'll put all those other guys on watch.
Of course it would. And I think that Javier Fortuna is just, he's a small guy. I mean, Jojo Diaz is a small lightweight. That was his first fight at lightweight. He didn't even fill out properly yet and was able to beat Javier Fortuna. I think it's just a weight class. I think he's a skillful guy, but like I said, small guys who move up and they do well are exceptionally skillful. And maybe that's just not Javier Fortuna. But I think, yes, he has the confidence, and I think he's skillful enough to present some kind of trouble. But I don't know. I just think that Ryan's big for that weight class anyway, and his power seems to be exceptional, and his speed is exceptional. So it's going to be a tough fight for Javier Fortuna.
You know what else, Barack? On the flip side of that, a lot of people feel that Ryan Garcia is too focused on Gervonta Davis, on Tank Davis, and maybe that will make him lose focus as to what was in front of him. Now, I'll say this, from knowing Ryan and spending some time around him, it's not for clout. He really feels that he can beat Gervonta Davis. He feels like he can knock Gervonta Davis out. This is his genuine thought. These are his genuine thoughts. He doesn't do it for clout, even though a lot of fighters in that division feel that way. They feel like, hey, Ryan's just saying Tank's name because it's clout. Hey, let's be honest. That's one of the biggest fights in boxing. These two guys are two of the most popular fighters in boxing, in the most popular division in boxing. Why wouldn't he call for that fight? Why wouldn't Gervonta want that fight?
It's a wonderful thing when fighters call out other fighters, especially top fighters. And those are actual fights that fans want to see. But you got to understand that fans never forget. If you do something wrong, if you do something suspect, they will remind you for the rest of your life. And that's just how they are.
You're alluding to the Pacquiao thing.
Exactly. Now, Ryan Garcia, back when Canelo was fighting Yildirim, that was the time period where they were beefing, Ryan Garcia and Tank. And he kept saying that was going to be the next fight. Then all of a sudden, he wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao. Now, hey, I like you fighting Manny Pacquiao, but that didn't happen. So fans, no matter what, they never let bygones be bygones. And that's why they take him as somebody who says something and it doesn't happen. But look, he even is feeling a backlash from that because he's like, you know what? I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to call people out because if it doesn't happen, then they blame me. And then, but just goes to show he's doing it anyway. He's still doing it because he has that burning desire to fight Tank. But I think the smartest thing to do is just focus on whoever's in front of you and fight that guy. Now, I don't think he's overlooking Fortuna. I just think he has a burning desire to fight Tank. I think overlooking is when you don't train hard enough for the person that's in front of you. And, you know, we've been in the camp. We've seen how he's training. He's training hard, you know, but look, he just wants to fight Tank.
And he's in his early 20s. He's going to make mistakes. It's a process to becoming a mature fighter in this sport that we love. So yes, maybe he reacted off an in-post calling out Pacquiao. Maybe his business team was telling him that fight was actually possible. He's very very popular on social media, and he tried to use that channel and that tool. Look, he learned from that. But at the end of the day, Barack, yes, he has a burning desire to fight Gervonta Davis, and he feels like he could beat him. As a fight fan, I'm not going to be against that. I'm not going to have a problem with him calling Gervonta Davis out and planning ahead should he get past Javier Fortuna.
You know what I want to say? I want to address the people that talk about Ryan Garcia is a social media champion and that's all he cares about. I want to tell you guys how foolish you sound. Because when you got guys who, like Danny Garcia, he has property, and once in a while he talks about the new properties he bought and the new businesses he started. No one goes and says, oh, you're just a businessman. You don't care about. What the hell? Every fighter wants a big presence on social media. Nowhere in Ryan Garcia's career can we say that because he has a big social media presence that every fighter wish they had, that it has affected him in the ring. He still goes in and he still has an 81% knockout rate. Like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? He took a little bit of time off, literally just a little bit of time off, literally just a few months for mental health issues. That's it. Yeah. And you guys are acting like because he has a big social media problem, that's a problem. Every fighter wants to have some kind of side hustle. Like this guy's making millions of dollars off the internet, and you got, instead of commending him and saying, yo, that's brilliant the way you use what you have outside of the ring, and understand that fighting, maybe your career, for maybe 7 to 8 years in a fighter's career, you make money. You might be in the game for 15 years, but maybe half of that you make money, and you got to live the rest of your life, maybe 30, 40 years on the money that you made. And he's trying to establish himself for his kids and his family and the rest of his life. And you guys are talking about that? That is ridiculous.
Yeah, foolish statements, but he has another opportunity to prove to the world that he is the real deal. This Saturday, live on DAZN against Javier Fortuna. For more on that story, make sure you guys go to DAZN News. They got you covered, all things boxing. That's it for us. Peace and love. Stay safe. We out.